We keep rolling, rolling, rolling. We keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Say what? Keep rolling, rolling, rolling.
We should observe the ancient ritual of traditional pre-fight donuts. Yeah.
Fear does not exist in this dojo, does it?
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time?
Shut up.
Break, not hit back.
Silly Caucasian girl likes to play with samurai swords.
You will all refer to me by the name Betty.
I know Kung Fu.
Thank you, Chuck Norris.
I said I don't want trouble.
Only an idiot can destroy a ninja.
Defeat does not exist in this dojo, does it? No,
Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
All right, welcome to Kickflix, your favorite podcast where you come to watch people talk and review their favorite or not favorite martial arts movies of past and present. I am Nary Signs. With me, as usual, is Jeff Roundhouse Mercancini.
I like it. What's up, guys?
And Mike Karate Chop Mercadal.
Karate chop right to the back of the neck. The back of the neck where the karate chops are the
What are
most
you
lethal.
doing? Vulcan neck grip? Nah, too high. You gotta go down here. You gotta... And I am, of course, like I said, I already said my name. There's that. All right. And we are today's episode. We're going to be talking about reviewing the classic, Jackie Chan's Police Story. I gotta make sure to put Jackie Chan's name in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you own the movie on Apple, if you own the digital copy of Police Story, it's not under P for Police Story. It's under J for Jackie Chan's Police Story.
Correct.
But credit where credit is due.
Yeah,
credit where credit is due.
Because, you know, it makes sense because Steven Seagal made a Police Story, and then Jackie's like, I don't want anything associated with that shit. So,
really?
No, not really.
Oh,
not really. No, not really.
I want to see Seagal's Police Story. That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, it was called Mark for Death or fucking
or whatever it was. Yeah,
whatever.
On Deadly Ground, which I hope's on the wheel.
Which one? Which one?
On Deadly Ground. That's Eskimo Steven Seagal.
Oh no, yeah. It's
Oh
called
God,
it's called Indigenous.
Or Inuit.
Inuit.
There you go.
Steven Seagal. But there's a reason he calls it Jackie Chan's Police Story is because he did this movie completely out of spite because of his experience on The Protector, because that was supposed to be his big break in the States, but him and the director hated each other to the point that Jackie Chan walked off set and they were like in the middle of filming and was like, I'm not coming back, and they're like, no, you have a contract, so you have to come back and finish it.
Fine, then I'll come back, but I won't be happy about it.
Exactly, because apparently he hated specifically that all the stunts were like choreographed clunky and awful, and he would make suggestions, and the director was like, yeah, no, fuck you, just do the flips.
Yeah, do what you're told, you know.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, all right, we should probably start the same way.
You gotta take his point of view. You gotta take his criticism. You gotta take his advice. Jackie Chan, what the fuck does he know about coordinating stunts? By the way, that director, Steven Seagal.
Big mistake. Huge.
All right. Give us the IMDb. It's time for the IMDb.
The IMDb info. Well, we got one of the taglines, not taglines. What do we call this? The IMDb summary. A virtuous Hong Kong police officer must clear his good name when the drug lord he is after frames him for the murder of a dirty cop. And I feel like we should do our service to parents out there, and let's talk about the parents' guide here. Sex and nudity, mild, very brief rear male nudity.
Yeah.
Straight up Jackie Chan.
You saw Jackie's can.
And a woman is seen in a nightgown. That is as sexual as it gets. But also I do feel like they left out
well, actually there was a lot of foreplay with cake.
Yes, and there was a lot of sexual recording noises that were made as they was misinterpreted, so it wasn't sexual, but it was made to sound sexual. Parents should be aware. Violence and gore, moderate. There were many scenes of men punching and kicking each other.
Mm-hmm.
In case you were worried about that.
Wondering, yeah.
A bus stops, which makes 3 men jump out the window and they land on the ground. Oh, the aforementioned, a girl throws a birthday cake at a man's face. A man opens the door and a cake gets smacked at him. He does the same. She does the same later. Lots of cake in the face. A man kicks a man through glass. Some cuts. A woman gets thrown through glass. Some cuts. And some men are shot and have bloody bullet holes in their chest. Which I do feel is like a big escalation from punches and kicks. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get.
We'll talk about that.
Guns were at a premium in this movie. Guns were
absolutely
only for millionaires.
Profanity mild, crappy and bullshit is said in subtitles. Go to hell is said once in subtitles. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking mild. The villains of the movie are drug dealers, so there's some drugs. 2 men smoke cigarettes. Gotta be clear. Frightening and intense scenes moderate. The opening chase scene is pretty intense with lots of destruction occurs and some intense fighting. Guns are pointed at people, including a man who is taken hostage. Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
For the parents out there, if you want to know, look out. There's going to be some punching and kicking in this movie.
Just so you know, in case the martial arts podcast,
just a heads up, you do see Jackie Chan's butt, which I feel like he does that often. Like I think he likes showing. Well, so in Rumble in the Bronx, he's wearing this weird like onesie that he's in. It's like in his underwear, and then there's a couple other movies where I feel like he's always caught mid change, so he's like half dressed in some other movies. But we'll get to those as we get to more Kickflix movies. But I don't think if I was as in shape as Jackie Chan, I wouldn't mind showing off a little tush every now and again.
I'm so you know what I'm saying. I'm counting down the days where I lose enough weight that you can't pay me enough to put a shirt back on. Fucking kidding. God forbid. God forgive me, and God warn all of you if I ever get a 6-pack. Oh my God,
forget it.
Never.
You're gonna be intolerable.
Yeah, secretly feed you sugar.
Everybody's gonna be like, "Fucking there again with his shirt off." Hello, can you put your shirt on? No. I spent 40+ years covering this shit up.
Yeah.
No, go fuck yourself. God,
this is for the world.
That's my motivation every time I'm in the gym. Just like, oh man.
The thing is, this is like prime Jackie Chan. This is like prime
Jackie Chan has been in his prime forever. And
Yeah.
I mean, but genuinely, like he's this is like his 1985. Like he was already like, this was like a big deal. It was Jackie Chan's blockbuster.
That Asian world.
Yeah. I do love the opening sequence, and
we want to do our 60-second.
Yes.
Jeff? We want to do Rotten Tomatoes after or no?
Yeah,
you tell me. Rotten Tomatoes 93% from critics, 88% from the audience. So highly praised. It's going to change. The ratings are going to be 10,001, and Neary's going to bring it down 1%. But so you know what? You want to do the 60-second?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Neary's waiting to like unload his hate, his vitriol.
So my 60-second review. I won't even need all 60 seconds. It's just I hadn't seen this movie in about 15 to 20 years. It's been that long since I've seen Police Story, and it was funny because I got the Dragnet-y, like Naked Gunny stuff like kind of in the beginning, but then it takes that weird turn about 3/4 of the way through and turns in like this was like Jackie Chan's show to Hollywood that he had range. Like that's what his attempt was, I feel like, with this movie. The action scenes are out of control, brilliant. I loved all of them. I loved the comedy. The side characters. There's one that we'll talk about later, which I will argue on my mountain of the greatest defense attorneys of all time on cinema. But I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Like I remembered why I loved it 15, 20 years ago when I saw it the last time.
Yeah.
So
I will say my 60-second review is this is like if this is why people got like Jackie Chan, you know, like all of the classic Jackie stuff is in there, and it's like the originator of all of the Jackie Chan stuff. I will say the fake glass budget in this movie was out of control.
Yeah,
it was the same as Van Damme's Coke budget.
Yep, the Street Fighter Coke budget, Police Story glass budget was out of control. But I liked, so I'd forgotten how much of this was like, you know, like you think Jackie Chan doing stunts, but then I forgot how like just straight up it was that people were like falling out of cars and like straight up like there's not even padding. They're like this guy just jumped off a roof and landed on the bus thing that they mentioned in the thing where they're just like we're just gonna film these guys get straight up hurt, and then at the end you see everybody, oh, that was genuine injury. They were genuinely hurt. This was not a happy end cutscene or post credit scene of happy outtakes like Rush Hour. This was, oh, we're watching like insurance appraisal footage. Like
they were fanning Jackie.
Yeah. So many people. Also, it's like classic Jackie Chan, and you're right. This movie took I forgot how heavy the turn is, where he is. We'll get to it, but he literally like holds a police station hostage. He's holding with a gun to their fucking head, like as the good guy. Like he's the good guy in the movie. And he's holding a fucking police sergeant or whatever hostage. Wild, and the most insane court scene in any movie. It's so ridiculous. And also, question: did you guys watch this with the subtitles, or is there an English dub version that I missed?
I watched it subtitle. I didn't find a dub version.
Tried to find the English dub version, and there was no fucking dub version. I tried to find it, couldn't find it, so I had to do subtitle.
You had to. You could just say you don't read fast. That's okay.
No,
you could say you just struggle with.
You try to multitask. You try. You have a fucking baby with you. You're like, oh, okay, I could hear what's going on. I don't need to see the court scene to fucking get what's going on. But nope. Jackie's like, no, motherfucker, you gotta read this shit. Go read every word.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it is a Chinese movie. Like, it was not.
No, I'm not blaming the movie. I'm not blaming you. Making it. You don't. It's not. It doesn't need defending. You asked a question. I answered the question.
Hey, no need to get so angry. No, and there's the hostility is not necessary. Okay,
right.
You don't have to fucking.
I'm running on the last quarter of the movie. My 60-second review, even though Mike took 3.5 minutes, my 60-second review is.
I was talking. You were commenting on my 60. I was done.
Nope. I answered your question. All I did was answer your question. Your last question at the end. That's all I did.
How many seconds has Neri's gone right there already?
Yeah.
12 seconds. Fucking snatch from me. Retaining my time.
Reclaiming my time.
Reclaiming. That's what it is. Reclaiming my time.
You knew I was wrong when you said it too.
Yeah. He's like, I hope nobody notices.
Would have been funny. Damn you. I don't need the full 60 seconds. I like this. I like a quarter of this movie. That was the end. By the end, I mean when it took that tonal shift. The end of the movie was incomplete. We'll get there. But the tonal shift I'm a big fan of that. The slapstick and the comedy, it could fucking go kick rocks. I could give a shit less about that. It didn't make me laugh or smile or anything. But I was all for the action sequences, and I was all for the tonal shift. I literally said this out loud. I was like, where the fuck has this movie been the whole time? Like, that's what I was like out loud was what I said. When he took the hostages, even before that. Like,
when he's hurt and they kill his cop friend. Yeah.
I was like, no, I was like, all right, this is it. That's what I'm talking about right here. The music became more dramatic.
It is two different movies.
It is 100%.
It's two different movies.
Yeah, one of them is an hour and 20 minutes long. The other one is 25 minutes long. It's like fucking weirdest split ever. It wasn't even like, all right, let's do 45 minutes of a comedy and 45 minutes of a drama. It was literally like fucking really outweighed. Anyways, but
look at the bang for the buck you're getting.
Yeah,
I don't like that. Comedy and drama. You're getting all of it in one film.
Yeah. You like the cactus butt.
I
thought you texted me when the girl sits on the cactus.
I I didn't say it was pretty funny. I just liked the vision of Cactus going up her ass. That was fine. But no, there was the comedy was gonna didn't do much for me. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
I mean, that is what a Jackie Chan movie has, those comedic elements in it. Now you know that going into it.
Oh no, but I already knew that. That's why Jeff was like, I know you don't like Jackie Chan's comedy. I go, nope.
I called it.
Nope, I don't. But I don't like my martial arts to be comedic. I like my martial artists to be a badass. And this movie, more so than any other Jackie Chan movie that I've seen, I guess. Let me put that in
sure,
there. That I've seen, like fully encapsulates that. Encapsulates that. It's like it clearly shows the type of movie that I would rather enjoy from Jackie when he went full badass. It's like, this is it. This is what I wanted. If I would have had this for an hour and 20, fucking 5 stars. Let's go. But instead,
remember, he's done
fucking slapsticky fucking clown, un payaso ahí, and I'm like, okay. And the story was a little convoluted in the sense of like the trial. Like, did he get off and not get off? Because he got off, the bad guy, and then the next scene is in his office, and they're like, we gotta wait till the jury comes back and this and that, and they took your money and your passport until everything gets cleared up. I'm like, what is there to everything clear up? He was literally talking about running away, like, oh, there's not even enough money to run to a different country. I'm like, but didn't you just get off? Didn't you win? Like, I don't understand what's happening. There must have been a language.
I don't know enough about the Hong Kong court system to know what the proper procedure is. But he
got off, right? Like he was saying, like justice was served. Like he was saying it very snooty.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm glad justice was served. As he was getting,
well, he got off of some charges. So I'm guessing that, because I think I'm trying to remember that when they're in the thing that they talk about the charges, and I think it was like 2 charges that he had. So it could be for additional charges.
Again, it was weird. It was, I don't know. Like I felt like there was a missing scene. Because right after the trial, he gets off. We see him get off, and then we see him go into his office, and they're like, "You don't have any money, and we gotta wait till the charges get cleared up." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And then Jackie, who fucked up on the stand, right?
Yes, yeah.
Presumably he fucked up because the bad guy gets off. They were like, he got a promotion, and it's like, wait, what? What the fuck?
You say he fucked up on the stand. I say that the greatest defense attorney of all time.
Yeah, there was no beating that guy.
Listen, when I literally texted Neary when he asked him, "What time were you there?" And he's like, 6 a.m. It was more precise, 5:55 a.m. Let's say 6. Like, that's literally the interaction.
No, he got me when he said, "Were you in sight of the bus the whole time?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Impossible." And he turns the bus to the to show there are 2 sides to the bus, and you didn't see the other side of the bus.
Right.
And I was like, "This motherfucker."
Well, no, but
is killing it right now.
After he tells him the 6 a.m.
I was watching this and I was like, this motherfucker's spitting fire.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, after he tells him the 6 a.m. thing, he goes, "Well, have you ever heard of the saying, it's always darkest before the dawn?" And he's like, "Yeah. Well, did you know that in December in Hong Kong, the sun rises at 6:23 a.m. Therefore, it was excessively dark prior to the sunrise. So how could you possibly see that my client was the person?" And I was like, did this motherfucker just use the sun as a defense?
It's always darkest before the dawn is also not true. It is not. It is always darkest when the sun is on the opposite side of the earth.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not true. It's always darkest before the dawn. Just
which
means
is what?
tired. That's
when is that? When is that?
Huh?
When is the sun directly on the opposite side?
At the it's
before
like
dawn. Before dawn.
That's like saying don't feed mogwais after midnight.
Right. Right. 100%.
Eggs. Hey, you're not wrong.
What does that mean?
You're not wrong.
Do we have any more business to take care of ahead? Do we have any more anything to get before we jump into the movie? Because I very much want to talk about how dope the 80s Hong Kong style fashion sense was.
Oh, so good.
Everybody's fits were out of hand, on fire. It was so good. I was like, damn, I wish I could dress like this. They're so good.
Definitely. It was absolutely like the attire, the craziness of
the colors, the car,
the sunglasses, the blue blockers, like just all over the place.
God, man, I loved it. I love that so much. But what movie was it that stole this opening sequence thing? There was a movie that
Oh, so Fast and the Furious, when they were in Brazil, they had, or no, Bad Boys. It was Bad Boys in
Bad
Cuba
Boys.
that
Yes,
they did
Bad
the
Boys 2.
favela. Bad Boys 2,
They
and that
fucking
they did the
stole
favela
the whole
scene.
thing.
Yeah. Well, that and then
Also, Hulk
what?
and MCU's Hulk, Incredible Hulk, or
They
I don't
did
know.
something like that too. I don't
Yeah,
remember
like
that.
the whole
No.
fucking the whole.
Oh, favela chase. That's right, with Ed Norton.
No. I'm talking about the cars plowing through a city down a hill, like
Oh,
frame, like almost like like if you would say verbatim, like shot for shot. It looks like they lifted this whole thing
Bad Boys
from.
2 did that. Yeah.
Well, they've said that, and then also later on in the mall scene when they drive the motorcycle with the guy on top of it through the glass,
Yeah.
they ripped it shot for shot in a Brandon Lee movie called Rapid Fire. That he admitted in interviews. He's like, no, yeah, we saw that scene and we just decided to recreate it exactly in my movie.
Also, why was there a motorcycle in like the fucking mall? On like the 4th level of the mall. That was like high up in the mall.
Wasn't it like on display or something like that?
We don't know. There wasn't a for
Hey,
sale
there's
sign.
Tesla
We don't see
stores.
it on display beforehand. We just see a guy roll up on a motorcycle. And again, this is the 4th floor. This is not like ground level where we just got a motorbike from the parking lot. Like it was. I was like, whoa.
Dadeland has Tesla stores inside of it, so it's not.
That's true.
Yeah. And I was like,
Yeah.
this escalated quick. Again, it could have. I just
Or a
wanted a
parking
for sale
garage.
sign. I just needed a for sale sign or something. But that bike looked pretty. I thought, it's on sale. But I was like, but we didn't see that in the pre-mentioned shot. Like there was nothing to. All right, cool, whatever.
It's amazing how much of this movie that I didn't understand, I just chalked up to like Hong Kong, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know how Hong Kong works. Who knows? Maybe that's how it is over there. I had zero clue. I was like, Hong Kong, baby.
But I wanted to. I want to talk about because this is something that drove me nuts in the opening sequence. Is the
guy
fact
that
that
pisses himself?
well, not only no, but even before that, the fact that they're like, here's your aliases, so that you pretend to be a tea salesman. That they had to read those. They had to read those portfolios, and then each one of them had to read it, learn it, and then shred it so that they would be anonymous. But don't forget to also carry your giant black earpiece that everybody can fucking see.
Oh yeah.
So that you're undercover. But
Make sure you put your finger to your ear.
The one guy that Neri pointed out.
And then the other guy cupped his entire ear like he was Josh Allen in fucking Kansas City. Like, I can't hear the play, coach. He just cupped his entire ear. And I was like, that doesn't throw any red flags, does it? Nope. But the fucking bad guy immediately noticed and goes, oh, wait, this guy's acting weird.
Yeah, the guy just looks at him. He's like, oh, there's a big earpiece there. And then Jackie tries to
just talk to everybody from this angle so no one can see this ear.
I just love the fact that they're all have these aliases. So like they made these characters. So it was like a D&D game. It was like a D&D one shot where they created these like full stories.
Sure, full dossier. It actually reminds me of another Jackie Chan movie that I would like to do on the show called Who Am I? You remember Who Am I?
Oh yeah, yes.
Where they're like spies,
Yeah.
and they're genuinely, have different identities. The fucking the whole point of that scene was what exactly? Like were they supposed to get because the drug dealer guy was there? Were they supposed to like audio record the drug deal going down?
That operation was the worst planned, the worst named, the worst. Like it was it Operation Boar's Head? What the fuck
Boar
was it?
Hunt. It was Operation Boar Hunt.
Operation Boar Hunt, and the captain comes on or whoever the fuck, and he was like, "This is." What was it they said, Jeff? That he said
he goes, "Attention, crime squad."
No, before that, he goes, this is the strategic base. I'm like,
oh yeah, this is strategic base, and it was like some guy's apartment.
and but the whole time I'm like, yeah, who else what the fuck would be in our ear, Captain? Like, what do you think? You think I'm picking up a weird podcast? Oh shit. Is this Kickflix? Oh no, it's fucking strategic home base. Thanks for like that's
Somebody's
a weird thing to announce. Like in case anybody's listening who's not supposed to be. This is a police like it's fucking weird. It was weird. That whole thing was so weird. There was nobody.
It's Hong Kong, baby.
They were supposed to be. I get it. They're supposed to be undercover, but it got that whole scene was so nuts. There were so many more officers and criminals during the gunfight than there were in that fucking classroom. Like there was
Yes.
so many more. Like they just
Well, there
kept
was a lot
coming.
of they at one point they did say that they like because they had to drop a line where they were clearing people out of that area so that when they do the car thing later, it's fine, right? So like they're not running through people, but they destroyed a whole bunch of homes. Also, like once it all goes bad and there's all this shootout and pew 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 pew, and then all of a sudden these two cars are just like, well, we're driving this way now, and I can't even remember like how
You mean
it
when they were like, don't kill any civilians
right.
before they drove through everything?
Yeah, they were
Oh,
like,
I
don't kill
like
any
it.
civilians, but
I like
please
when the guy
destroy
goes.
their homes
I like when
because
that guy goes. The captain says that you're supposed to look before you shoot, and then Jackie says, I don't see the bad guy. I don't see the crooks doing that. And I was like, sir, two things. One, I thought they were drug dealers. Now they're crooks. What the fuck? What's going on here? And two, are you literally saying like I could act as bad as the bad guys because they're not doing like? Aren't you supposed to be a cop? Isn't that the whole point?
He's
It's like I'm
Batman.
better than you.
well,
As
the
a
whole
person?
time I'm watching this movie, I'm like, man, a cab, right? Like, fuck all these guys, like fucking cops. You know, these people are representing the corrupt arm of the law, and look, the police were corrupted. They were corrupt cops, and they make Jackie Chan's character because he was so as that whole chase scene plays out later on, we'll come back to it, but like they make him like a hero cop. Like they put him on TV, they do all that shit, you know.
Those
Like
photos were amazing.
yes,
Of him like as the lantern keeper on the top of the boat and like pointing with the radio.
yeah, it's just like the same propaganda that we get. You know, I don't want to put my foil hat. That's a Woobro thing, but you know, it was the whole time I was like, this is really stretching my ability to like support him because he's a cop. I don't want to support cop.
We'll give it away. The title. We'll
Right.
give it away.
So the whole movie, I'm like, yeah, Jackie Chan, he's a cop. Yeah. It's police story. Yep, corruption. Okay, gotcha. Drugs. Yes. One question. Was
one? Just one?
No, right now. Just one for right now. Was anyone threatened by that bad guy? The guy that looks like everyone's weird uncle. Like
no, I mean at all.
I was more threatened by the fact that guy said he's in his mid to late 40s. I was like, that guy? That guy? I'm like, he's had a good life because he looks like shit, man.
Rough. How much of those drugs is he doing that he looks
like what the fuck? That guy's in I'm 40. That guy's in his mid 40s. Holy shit. I'm killing it. I'm killing the game right now. If I'm thinking, Jesus.
I was more intimidated by the names of his goons because it was Madwing and Snake Eyes.
Yo, Madwing was dope.
Shit. I was like, Madwing's coming. Oh,
this is the scariest Snake Eyes I've seen this weekend.
We have to talk about how so after the whole car chase and then he comes running, so they destroy all of these poor people's homes.
Mm-hmm. No, did you hear later on in the movie they call in the trial they told him that it was a squatters, they called it the squatters area. Mm-hmm. So those people,
it was a shanty town.
Yeah, it was like a tent town, like, so they weren't legal, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's not like an actual, like, so that's why they felt the need that it was okay to fucking destroy their homes because they're not really paying rent anyway.
Like, yeah, it's super fucked up.
Yeah.
those people
super realistic.
To get by. Yeah, I know. That is actually so like
I saved all my money to buy this tarp, and we finally have a place that we could just I just hung it up from that one fucking piece of tin that the neighbor has, and this other piece of fucking wick roof that the other neighbor has, and now we have a tarp. We're making it, guys. We're making slowly but surely.
Oh no! Now that Hyundai just destroyed everything. Never mind.
Yeah. I will say,
what was that car model that started with a D?
Datsun?
No, that one that came and left real quick. That they made like Daewoo. There you go. Yeah. Didn't they all look like Daewoos? They all look like fucking Daewoos.
All of the car. Well, I mean, I guess
Daewoos came out in 2000.
No. They were super blocky, like the 80s cars, man.
We're saying Daewoo. We're saying the same thing.
Daewoo was in the 90s, like 2000s.
That's what I'm saying. They all look. That's how bad Daewoos were. That they were like, remember the 80s? Let's go back to that. We're gonna be here forever.
Seriously though,
No,
like
not though.
those cars in their day, I'm sure it's like if I go back and look them up, because this is in in Hong Kong and where they shot, like before they got handed back to China, it was like a British colony, so they would get stuff like that. So they had like car cultures. Some of these apartments were dope as fuck. Like they were really. I missed the sunken the couch areas that they had. That the levels go down, and then
You
there's like
missed that?
I do. There's something like kind of cool about all that stuff.
I have. That's what I still have. I have a sunken living room.
You have a sunken living room?
Yeah.
With a conversation couch.
Yeah.
All that 70s shit.
The Kramers levels.
It's not shag carpeting though, but
can we talk about so after all that shit, he goes, when Jackie Chan takes a shower, he gets out of the shower and he puts on what I can only describe as a thermal
the
jumpsuit,
green thing,
a flight
the
suit.
green thing with
How
the green thing with the
How cool was that thing? The whole time.
That was
wanted
the
to-
second time he was wearing it, by the way. That was the second time he was wearing it. Like he wore it in the beginning, right when he destroyed the fucking shanty town. That's what
he was
wearing.
wearing.
No, that was his nightgown, sir.
No.
Talking about.
What I'm talking about is what he wore when he put on after the shower. Like,
Yeah, I know. It looked exactly the same as the fucking jumpsuit that he was wearing.
He had a painter's overall with
like
the Converse. Which, by the way, him doing all this in Converse, I loved. But it was him in the overall, in the painter's overalls.
But aren't I looking at the picture on the screen? That green thing, isn't that he was hanging off the bus in that scene?
Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about.
But it doesn't. It looks exactly the same as that.
No,
that's way looser than what we're talking about.
Yeah. I'm talking about.
How
the hell do I Google search Jackie Chan?
I'm gonna look up I'm gonna get the movie and just freeze it. I know exactly what part it's on.
Yeah. But I was just fascinated how much I was like. I was in love with all of the look of the movie because it was just so 80s to me.
And the whole thing of him bringing her back and then them doing the surprise party and like it was like I thought that was such a just like hysterical.
I mean, let's be honest. This movie is a sitcom.
Yeah,
it's like classic sitcom tropes of like a surprise party and then the girlfriend being on the other line and there's a miscommunication with a girl that's at a work thing and then like no that's not what I meant, and he sets up like a fake assault from one of the cops.
That's the 80s sitcom. That moment that I remember the most is he sets up a fake fucking murder for hire.
Yeah, well he's got to get her to cooperate, so what does he do? He gets his fellow
that whole thing was so confusing. That whole plot point was so confusing.
So
like,
dumb. It was so
he
dumb.
literally they go, oh, we need to have a word with you, and then they don't say a word. The cops, right? They turn away from her.
Right.
And I was like, what's going on here? Like, do they want the kingpin to fucking think that she's talking to him?
They want her. It's the scene from Captain America for the first Avenger where he's like, I'm not going to tell you anything. Zola is being interrogated. And they're like, you don't have to. We're just going to tell them that you told us everything, and they're going to assume that you did, and then they're going to come after you. So they were basically just setting her up to get
as bait, right?
Murdered. Yeah.
But then how does Jackie? Did they ever tell Jackie like, hey, you got to get her to cooperate? Or no, they were just like, you're a bodyguard.
They. Do you not remember when they gave him practically the talk boy from fucking Home Alone?
Right.
And they were like, we need you to record certain things, and
they just said just make sure she's okay, like you're her bodyguard,
but try to get information from her,
which made me laugh later on when they were like, what kind of bodyguard are you? And he was like, I'm not, bitch. Like that's what I would have said. I would have been like, I'm not, I'm a fucking cop. I never signed up to be a bodyguard. You just assigned me this bullshit assignment, didn't give me any explanation. And that was funny though. I will give credit. As much as I don't like the comedy in this movie, when he said you get an extra $32 a day, and he goes, "It was the price. The price was set a long time ago." And he's like, that's the one part that made me laugh. I was like, that is funny because that is some shit coming from the corporate world. That is some shit that corporations would do. They were like,
we're not. Yeah, there's no inflation.
There's like $32 for doing a special project. Like what? That doesn't seem like it's enough to cover it. It was a sign a few years ago. You can do it.
Can we talk about with the progression of the homage to Halloween that occurred in the middle of this movie when Jackie's trying to convince her at the apartment that she needs his protection, and the guy comes with the mask that is clearly was copied in The Office by Dwight later on because that's what the mask looked like from the guy with the overalls.
Yeah, well, that was his friend, the guy.
Yeah. Well, because at first I'm watching it and I'm like, because I hadn't remembered the movie, and I'm like,
No, that was
No,
his.
no, no.
That was his cop friend. That was
That was his cop friend that did it
Right,
from the
but wasn't
academy.
Snake Eyes like supposed to be a cop or some shit? Like who? Like Snake Eyes was the informant that really wasn't an informant, right? That's the guy in the warehouse.
Right, the one that
He's
he
the one that
called
gave him
that
the
he
bad
said
tip.
him
Yeah, he
right.
gave him the bad tip, right?
Right.
Who's that guy? Before that, did we know Snake Eyes before that?
No,
I
I
gotta
think
be
he
honest
was
with
just.
you. Hong
I
Kong,
don't think
baby.
so.
If something was
Hong Kong,
confusing to
baby.
me, I just completely was like,
My
"That's how it
daughter,
is over there."
my daughter saw the last like fight scene in the mall, and she's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "That's the." I was like, "Long." She goes, "Why are they fighting?" I go, "Long story.
Yes.
That guy's a good guy. The rest are bad guys." And then a girl comes in and she's like, "Is she a bad guy?" I go, "No, that's a good." And she's like, "That's a girl, right?" I go, "Yeah, that's a girl." And then she goes, "They all look the same to me, to be honest." And then I was like, "Let's." And then I was like, "Okay, what do you mean by that?" Like, I'm trying to like, before I jumped on fucking throats or whatever. She was like, "They all have the same puffy hair. Everybody has the same puffy
They
hair."
did.
And I was
They
like,
did. 100%.
and I was like, you know what? There you go. I was for a moment there, but my daughter has no race. Like kids aren't
Yeah,
racist.
it's not it's not a racism thing. They're just like
It's not it doesn't even. It has nothing to do with race at all. I thought she was just saying like the eyes, nothing. She was just like, everybody has the same puffy hair, and I'm like,
dude,
that's valid points.
I'm
Valid
going
points.
off on a tangent, but I remember one time we were in the grocery store. My younger brother was really little, and he was checking. We were like in the grocery store, and then he's like, "Who's that?" And he's like, "Who's that? Who's that lady?" And then she's like, "I don't know who that lady is." And she's like, "She's big," like really loud.
Yeah,
And we were all like,
happened to me many times.
"Okay."
I once there was once on a cruise ship. I was leaving a public bathroom on a cruise ship. This is like 5 years ago, and this lady was walking towards where I was leaving from the bathrooms. The little girl must have been at the very most 3 years old, and she asked, "Why is that man so fat?" And it just like it took everything for me not to cry at that moment. Like, I was just like just destroyed. But it's children, like you can't, what I mean? Like it's that.
In my elevator, there's a lady that has a kid. She must have been like 5 or 6, however old they are at this height or whatever.
Yeah.
And she just kind of was staring up at me like in the elevator. And then I'm just like looked at her, I'm like, "Hello." And she's like, "You're too big."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Jesus.
"Yep, don't I know?" I don't know what she meant. I was just like a giant in that little elevator to her. And then she was just like, I was like, "Tell me about it." Yeah, I am. Yes, I'm too big.
She's like, "Oh, tell you about it? Good. Sit down."
Oh yeah, there it is.
The knitted onesie.
The knitted.
So that's not the same?
No, because he was dressed in a painter's outfit.
Yeah, it was like coveralls. This was like a knitted
His name
form-fitting
was
thing.
Todd the Painter.
Okay. I see it as maybe the other one's a little baggier, but it's the same thing. It's a coverall, right? Like you're saying a painted coverall, and
This was like a different. It's different, Nary.
Okay.
If you understood fashion, you would know that there
Is this the same thing as what are those things called for women that a couple of years ago people were losing their fucking minds?
rompers.
Is
It's
this
kind of like a romper.
Yeah.
It's like a coverall. Like
where he has to take it off to take a shit? He has to take the whole thing off.
unless there's a flap back there, yeah, you do. You have to take it all the way off.
But so that the whole scene with the romper kind of ties into one of the first fight scenes that was really dope, which was basically with the cars when they're trying to escape.
Yes,
and they're like
kicked out of they beat the shit out of the cars. The cars get super damaged,
and like he's literally tossing people into like the windshields and with the bat, and there's those bats that just appear that the guy's carrying a baby stroller across the street across in front of the car.
that it was like because after the fake assassination attempt, there was a real assassination attempt.
That's another thing that throws me off. So he's really trying to kill this bitch, right? Like he's really trying to kill this lady, and let me get correct here. He's really trying to like kill this lady, right? The bad guy. He's really set a bunch of thugs to kill this lady, right?
The drug dealer guy,
right?
He thinks that
and then she gets away,
and
then she gets away, right? She doesn't trust him, whatever. And then the next time we see her, she's in protection by him.
Because
like, I'm gonna get you some money, send you to Europe, and blah blah. Like what? There was nothing in between.
They need her. They need her.
Because
what do they need from her?
They don't need her. They don't need her The thing is that she contacted him and said, I don't want to go to the police. The police didn't tell me anything. I'm not going to show up to court.
But we didn't
And
see that.
well, no, you saw her disappear.
Right. So she disappeared. Like they try to kill her. She finds out that Jackie is friends with Ghostface.
The guy, yeah, the Mike Myers wannabe.
Yeah, Jackie's friends with Ghostface, so she tricks him. She leaves, and then next time we see her, she's like, "I'm bored. Can I go out?" And he's like, "No, no, no. You stay right there. Even though I try to kill you, you stay right there, and you just I'll send you to Europe later. It'll be fun. It'll be fun." But so we don't, right? There's like we the audience don't see anything in between. We don't even hear about. She explained it to me, guys. She didn't snitch on me, and I trust her because her dad worked for me. Like we don't hear any of that. We just all of that is just assumed. I'm not mocking it. I'm just saying I'm double checking that there wasn't a scene I missed.
I'm saying Hong Kong baby too much. I genuinely don't remember.
Title of the episode: Hong Kong baby.
Hong Kong baby. I genuinely don't know. Because during the watching the movie, all of this made sense to me, and I can't remember the specifics as to. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, the fake, and then now the real assassination, and then I guess there was like maybe one or two lines where they talk about how she, how they set her up. That she, I think she told that the cops. There was some explanation about that quiet scene where she's in the office and they don't say anything and then they let her go.
Right.
I think there was some explanation over that, but I don't remember exactly what it was. I just kind of was like, yeah.
No, they literally said you have to get rid of her. They literally, his henchmen were like, you have to get rid of her.
No, but what?
Well, there was a lot of incel shit in this movie too that I forgot.
What happened was that the main guy says we're gonna. He basically set it up so that they thought that she was ratting on them.
I understand, but there was no clarification by her part to him that she did not rat him out. We the audience, this is what I remember. And again, I'm just asking because maybe I missed a scene or missed a line of dialogue. Or maybe I couldn't read quick enough, which is totally believable. Is assassination attempt, go to Jackie's house, cake, forgotten birthday, which is fucking already stupid as shit. All right, moving on.
I got it.
Then it was I see the picture. You're friends with Ghostface. You know what? I'm gonna tell you where you want to hear, but I'm leaving before you wake up. Then the next time we see her, after that goes to trial, which again she's not at the trial. Next time we see her, she's on the phone saying, "I'm bored. Can I get out?" And he's like, "No, no, no. You just need to chill a little bit longer. In a little bit, I'll be able to send you to Europe, and you have a lot of fun. It'll be worth it then." And I'm like,
she didn't show up to the court, and then when he tried to play the tape had been changed. Because the tape was the music, and then it was like it was just the conversation
before, because she had rewound the tape so that they could, she basically erased the confession on the tape by rewinding the tape. Yeah.
So the guy heard that.
Now we're supposed to assume all is forgiven. On both ends. You didn't rat me out to the cops and forgive me for trying to kill you. Like we're all good. Everything's good.
All right. That's the only path I can take from what we're seeing there.
All right. That's it. That's all I wanted to know. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a line of dialogue where like, no, Neri, you missed it. Where she said, "Fucking stay there, I'll kill you." I'm like, oh, okay, that makes more sense.
I did. So there was after the court. Well, we skipped a little bit, but the courtroom scene is the most phoniest of balonies. That Hong Kong baby. I have no idea how the Hong Kong court system works, but the fact that there were these barristers that could just be like,
but Aaron Sorkin did copy this scene for A Few Good Men.
Yes, I mean,
yeah. Mike, did you notice that they said objection in English?
I object, yes, because it's a British colony, so the whole legal system is based on the British system. That's why they have barristers.
Okay, but he said I object in English, and I was like, "What the fuck?" There was no subtitle for that. And then later on, when right after the trial ends, the police chief goes, "I want a full report," and he goes, "Okay," and he says, "Yes, sir." I'm like, "Yes, sir." What the fuck? He said that in English. I was like, "What?" Okay.
So I literally in my notes I have "I object" in quotes, because every time they said it, it just get increasingly it was like heightened every time. I object, and they were saying it like in English. So it was just like one of these moments where if you weren't paying attention and you were trying, you were like doing something else, you hear "I object" and you'd like turn back around and you're like, no, it's still the same movie. Wow, okay, all right.
Did I flip this to something else?
Yeah.
What's happening?
The like the courtroom proceedings and all that stuff, and then the tape, the fact that Jackie Chan could run around the courtroom, I also thought was like nobody was like, hey, sit the fuck down, or like nobody was like, yeah, clearly this tape is a problem, but we'll fix it later and then we'll come back here. We'll take a 5-minute recess so you can figure out nothing, none of that. It's like if you get this wrong now,
That's it. Game
murderer
over.
or drug dealer goes free. Game over. Yeah.
With the giant 7-foot speaker that they brought into the courtroom,
so that everybody can hear these fake sex noises.
Yeah,
I love the fact that they were like, "Your Honor, tapes are not permissible in court," and he's like, "Well, the witness, their star witness, is not here, so we have no other choice." And I was like, "What? That's not how this. What?
Oh, that's how this works now.
That's how this works. So tapes are not admissible unless." It's kind of like when in Liar Liar, when he was like, I object. He's like, why? Because it's detrimental to my case.
It's like why should we allow this tape? Oh, I can't win without it.
Because
do you object?
We have the judge is like, we have no choice but to let it. We gotta allow
let it roll, baby. Hong Kong, baby.
Hong Kong, baby.
The judge is like, Hong Kong, baby. Let it roll.
Oh my god! So, go ahead.
Did
Mike.
you see? So there was a clip after the court scenes of something called the police report, and it was basically like interviewing cops about their stuff. And I was like, this was cops before cops was cops.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they were just doing like a show about police work, and I was like, and Jackie Chan there, being super famous, and like I'm a model police officer, being, or.
And then,
not even, because they never use those fucking guns.
Can I just tell you that those were the only police uniforms that we saw in the entire movie?
Yeah, nobody had police. I was always wondering, why does he not have a police uniform?
The entire precinct was undercover. Like I'm surprised. I'm surprised the building
100%.
said police. It could have just said factory. Don't mind us. Like what? This is crazy.
Nondescript building.
They save so much money in not having police uniforms. I was like, it's just everybody wear something from home that you don't mind getting fucked up. Wear something that you don't get destroyed.
I want to mention, I mentioned it towards the beginning, but hip hop, Jackie Chan, when he steps in the poop and starts breakdancing to get it, and then they put the breakdancing, like the hip hop music, as he just starts going like he pops locks and like starts doing
he does the moonwalk to get the poop off of his shoe. Like you. I mean,
which is the original reason why the moonwalk was created, was just to get gum off your shoe.
Yeah.
Why? That's all we know. Go ahead.
So I want to mention this because this scene started off really funny slapstick and then took a very dark turn in the middle, and I need to talk about it because all I wrote down was rape pills.
Oh, you're talking about the phones?
The phone scene where it started off all funny, and then the girl's like, "Somebody raped me," and then he goes, "When?" And she says, "Well, it was like a year ago." And he goes, "And you're just reporting it now."
Yeah.
Then switches to somebody else, then comes back and he's like, "Well, just go to a clinic and get morning after pills." I'm like, that's not how those work. And he goes, get extra ones and they'll work better. Like, and I was like,
the whole joke of that scene was that he was confusing all of the phones.
Right. But you picked rape.
Yeah, that to me was what was there. And then he just leave. But my thing was that he just like to get some fucking peace and quiet. He just leave all these phones off the hook.
Yes.
And it's like these people are reporting like robberies and rapes and domestic violence.
My husband was beating me.
And we've already established that he's part of the special forces. So they're calling the special forces line.
Yeah.
Oh well, he was being punished to answer the phones.
Right.
So they told him like just sit here and answer the fucking phones and shut up, whatever. Stay out of trouble.
It was so weird. Like that comedy was so clunky where he was like, police department, and she was like, "That's so rude how you picked up." And he's like, "Oh, hey, you want Jackie? Hey, Jackie. Yeah, Like it's like a fucking weird. Oh, let me get. Oh yeah, he was very rude
I
to me.
loved
Oh, I'm
how
fucking yelling at him right
cheesy that
now. And I
was.
was like, how can you fucking yell at me? And I was like, what do we do? What the fuck is going on here? It's such. It reminded me. That's a scene that you would straight up see in Full House. Straight up, you would fucking see that scene in Full House
without
This-
less rape.
Yeah, less rape and domestic violence.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
but it was-
Blossom, same amount of rape. Full
Blossom
House,
handled it,
less rape. Yeah.
Yeah. The idea. So to me, all of the comedy comes from the fact that he will choreograph the comedy the way he choreographs a fight, like kung fu fight scene.
Mhm.
So all of those little moves with the pencil and the phones and the flicking of everything around and throwing everything is all like, because he does it in like a bunch of other things too, like scenes in the apartment with his girl when he pulls his girlfriend off the back of her motorcycle.
Oh yeah,
her ass.
Which
He
Assault.
talks so much shit about that woman.
assault, by the way.
Yeah,
Assault.
horrible, like straight up, like, and even the stuff he's saying to like pretending to say to his girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember
yeah.
the whole another phone call.
You better apologize, bitch. Like it's
Yes.
like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. He was saying like super harsh stuff, and I was like, because he thought it wasn't her, but she was right there next to whatever the whole fucking deal was. Like, haha, get it? Because now she knows what he says about her behind her back.
Such a
But
shtick.
like, there was a lot of that in this movie, and with the informant lady also, there was a bunch of that. Like,
yeah.
it was
But
really
then-
weird. It's hard to like. I was like, this is the guy's reporting. I mean, like, take the rape seriously. Please.
Yeah,
Take
I
the
was like,
domestic violence seriously.
hang up the other phone calls.
Yeah.
Back to this one.
Also, the cow is missing, right? Like
The cow, the missing cow.
Yeah,
It's
that's
true.
cow.
Big deal.
Big deal.
But then that's when it kind of gets close to the switch of where the tone.
There
in
is
the
another.
movie-
There is a part where like there's one thing that I noticed, and it was kind of throughout the whole movie, where car accidents are just like a mild inconvenience for
Mhm.
like leaving a car just smash like with the brake off and it rolls downhill, and then there's
Right.
nothing like who's cleaning up all these cars? You know what I mean? Like the cars get smashed in that first fight. The car just rolls
Call a
down.
tow truck. Call a tow truck. It'll be fine.
Yeah, call a tow truck. He was like, and tell your mom I'm sorry. Call a tow truck and tell your mother I'm sorry.
Like all of these like I just like the idea that there's just like a department of damage control just for Jackie Chan, where someone's just following around like, let's get this car out of this driveway.
Which let me tell you, he I think he might have hit the jackpot if he marries that girl for mother-in-law, because he stood her up, and then towards the end when he starts going down this downward spiral, May literally tells him, she's like, my mother's worried about you. She wants to make sure you're okay. I was like, that's a good future mother-in-law that you're like.
Well, she's just afraid that he's gonna hit her daughter.
With the car
or
that doesn't have
Oh,
any
yeah.
murder her like he did the other cop.
Which, by the way,
That's
she
true.
was like, "Oh, are you okay? Don't shut the fuck up. Stop asking me about me. Get the fucking suitcase." And I was like, "Damn, fucking yeah. Okay, high pressure situations, whatever." And then she gets thrown down not one set of stairs,
Oh.
two pairs of stairs. And I was
She gets Leonidas kicked down the second flight.
like, for real. I was like, "What?"
Put on her back.
So of course my daughter's watching it at this point, and I'm like, the first set of stairs, I'm like, oh no, like I said that, and then the second set of stairs, my daughter goes, wow.
Yeah.
My daughter, who's 10 years old, was like, wow.
Wow.
She was like, and this is what my 10-year-old said. Even bad guys know you don't hurt women, and I'm like, yeah, that's fair point.
Yeah.
That's like,
I'm going through my notes, and I do see that at a certain point, I think when Jackie Chan is about to get arrested for like, because it was a dramatic turn when he goes to
When he
rescue somebody. What is
No,
it?
no,
Well, he goes to find the informant girl.
Yes.
but he
At the-
turns
at-
himself
because-
in. He turns himself in, and then it's when he's all fine with that because he doesn't know what happened. He
Yeah,
doesn't
but
know
this is before.
Before
He turns himself in after.
because he gets left.
Where
on
I'm
the,
talking,
on the
he
hill or whatever.
he gets left on the roof
Yeah.
after she did
Right.
that stunt herself, the actress, of jumping into the
I
pool
honestly
from
thought that it was
the.
Jackie Chang in a dress. I literally it was
No,
fucking-
she
it was
actually
her style.
wanted to do a bunch of her own stunts in the movie.
Puffy hair.
No.
Yeah.
You leave yourself hanging out to dry with that one. Everybody like no, shut up. Let him dig his way out of that one.
No, puffy hair.
Puffy hair.
Yeah.
That's what my daughter said.
But then
You blame
after
everything
that,
on your daughter.
when after the guy shoots his partner, and then they leave him in the field.
Right.
Then that's when he goes and turns himself in.
Yeah, I know, but there's a thing. He turns himself in, and he was okay with turning himself in. But when the captain goes charge him on first-degree murder, he snaps. This is what you're gonna charge me with. Like, what else would he charge you with, Jackie? What do you think?
Well, because he's like,
what the fuck do you think he's gonna charge
but
you with?
that speech that he gave, that he's like, we're the reason you got this promotion.
Yeah, you're
we're
the reason
you have this air conditioned office.
That was a big deal, bro.
Yeah,
big
like
deal
he was
back
like,
then.
he was like, this is
having an air conditioned office. That was a big fucking deal. That was.
Yeah.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the Michael Douglas movie of Falling Down, where he's like, I just snapped, and he's like, I can't. But it made me laugh. I was really like, that's what made him snap was the fact that he goes, you're gonna charge me with first-degree murder? It's like, yeah. What do you think?
Well, he was like, knowing that I am dealing with all this corrupt cop, like knowing that all of this is happening because of people faking because of corrupt cops, because that was the whole thing, because there was like the double there was a triple cross that time, because it was like the good cop was actually the bad cop, but then the bad cop gets shot by the bad guys, so it was like a weird kind of like a triple cross essentially. And then when he gets to the police station, he's like, you're not going to believe it. It's all fucking crazy. This guy was a bad cop. And he's like, and that's why they shot him with my gun. And they're like, okay, well, we'll figure it out when the court
figure it out.
And then he's like, no, I'm like, please believe me, like that.
But they, in their defense, both of them did believe him. They could have shot him out.
They said, we'll figure it out. Yeah.
Like,
but you gotta go to jail. But we'll figure it out. But you gotta
charge you with first-degree murder. Oh hell no! I'm like,
and now I pull a gun on my boss.
Yeah, and then even all the detectives, when they're in the room, they're like, "This isn't you, dude. This isn't you. We know what you're gonna." No. So like they believed him. It wasn't one of these situations where like, "Oh, this is a cop killer. Fuck that guy."
We're running out of time now, but real quick, let's jump to the ending, which was the most abrupt ending since the series finale of The Sopranos. It was so fucking abrupt. I was like, "That's the end." My daughter goes, "What happened?" I'm like, "I don't."
But let me tell you though, I liked the way that ended on that note. After they just let him wail, he mollywops that
mollywops,
and just like
I think he killed him. I think that's yeah, he went like 30 punches to the fucking gut. Like there's a possible chance.
Before that, we can't talk about Police Story without talking about one of the greatest stunts in movie history, which is from the 5 or 6 stories up when he slides down that pole, which they ended up showing 3 times because they're like, hey, we got the shot.
We got the shot from all these different angles.
I love watching this movie with my daughter because my daughter was like, "Why do they keep showing this same scene?"
But he got messed up because they actually they didn't use batteries, which normally for stunts where like they go through lights so that they disconnect. They have these shits plugged into the walls, so like he got like 3rd-degree burns on both of his hands.
He got shocked like crazy.
He fractured his pelvis, and he damaged 2 of his vertebrae.
He fractured his pelvis on that stunt?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. When he fell, that's what the stuff I looked up on said.
Oh, I didn't know it was that. I knew he broke his hip. The breaking your pelvis, like people are like, oh, I broke my hip or whatever. If you fracture your pelvis, people forget that your bones bleed. You lose up to 3 liters of blood from your pelvis. That's what they teach you in paramedic school.
Well, that's the thing. Here's the thing. Jackie was drinking so much milk.
Right, he's very strong bones.
Very strong bones.
In addition to the burns on his hands, Jackie injured his 7th and 8th vertebrae, and not fractured, dislocated his pelvis on the pole slide when he crashed into the
off, you cow.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Whatever.
But the stunt, that one stunt where he flips over the balcony and falls onto the kiosk, like that, the 2-story drop.
Yeah,
he stopped breathing, and they had to rush him to the hospital after doing that.
Yeah,
so like he's literally like.
Did you rush you to the hospital when you stop breathing? Fucking bunch of pansies in Hong Kong.
But what I love is that in that fight scene, as compared to the other fight scenes, you could see that there was a feral difference in his mentality. Because the way that he was fighting those guys, he was very defensive in those first fight scenes. In this fight scene, he was like, no, I'm going to beat the living shit out of all of you.
There's nothing better than when Jackie Chan wants trouble.
Right.
When Jackie Chan wants trouble,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I want to see.
he's at his peak.
Those are the moments in Jackie Chan movies that I fucking love. Those are I need the badassery moments. Fuck you and your clown and comedy.
I don't
Whatever.
want trouble. Yes, those are funny and fun and ha ha ha. And they're and look, I like you talk about you want your martial arts movies to be badasses. I like the choreography of it and the acrobatics of it all. I love the acrobatics of it all.
To the audience, I know the audience. I know you guys. To the audience, I am not negating this man's talent, his ability, his fucking, and on top of everything else, what he means to the genre and to the industry. Like, I'm not debating any. I'm just saying I'm not a fan of the comedy. I don't like the punch. But when he gets into a badass mode, fire.
When Jackie Chan is, and I do love that they do show the arc, you know, that he goes from being, and I love movies. I'm trying to think of one where he becomes like a mob boss, like he's a crime boss in China. I can't remember the name of it. There's another one called there's another one called The Foreigner that he did that's in London with
The Foreigner. That one was amazing.
Saved that one into my wish list of movies that I want to watch because anyways we're running late, but we're at an hour. Let's go on with our
ranking
systems and out of 5, Jeff, what do you give it?
I'm gonna, you know what, like I really enjoyed the movie. I think I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5 ramen erasers.
Ramen erasers?
The erasers that fell into the ramen while he was eating them with the pencils.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna eat with this pencil.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Listen, I'm all for. I know what I get when I'm watching a Jackie Chan movie. I adore the slapstick side of it. I love the stunts. He's always been one of my favorite of the martial artists people, just because I love that. I'm a fan of slapstick.
Asian. I mean, you don't have to call them martial artist people. Like you could be
martial art because not like I like Michael J. White, but he's a martial artist, but he's not Asian.
He's Asian. No, just kidding.
I was like, he could. I mean,
martial arts. You're
once you do one kick,
that's it. You're in. So Ja Rule, never mind. So
Cradle to the grave, baby.
Yeah. Yep.
5.
So I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. 5 out of 5. It's got great action sequences, beautifully choreographed. It's got the humor. It gives me the Police Academy vibes. Then it gives me the Training Day vibes at the end. Yeah. So it covers the genre of police movies. So I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5.
I agree that this is one of the quintessential Jackie Chan experiences. You get the comedy, and then you get like the crazy escalation of the action, like where all of a sudden they're fighting literally on every level of a mall. There's a motorcycle, there's stuff, car chases. Like it's not just a martial arts movie. There's tons of stunts. I can't give it a 5.
Say martial arts movies. It's not just a martial arts movie. There's also fighting.
Is that what I said? No. I mean,
you said this is not just a martial arts movie. There's also stunts, and like, yeah, okay.
Well, no, I mean like car chases and like it's an action movie and also a martial. Like there's a lot of like, and also I enjoy the entire package of having comedy and action and drama and because I'm not expecting more, but this movie does have like some odd moments where like I pulled, like I was like, wow, he's being really mean to these women, where I was just like, hey, I can't fully back it. So I will give it a 4.5 out of 5. I will give it 4.5 super dope post shower jumpsuits out of 5. Warm and cozy after it feels good to watch this movie. Feel like you're being wrapped up, and then you're like, maybe a little too much with the being mean to ladies, but then also action packed and full of like dope stunt and broken glass. Tons of broken glass.
The crew called it Glass Story, by the way. I forgot to mention that when you were doing your thing because of all the glass that they went through.
I would give it 3 out of 5 girlfriends down the stairs. 3 out of 5
rolling or Leonidas.
Geez, yeah, that was delicious. But I would give it 3 out of 5. My score ranking is 1 for the action sequences, 2 for the fighting, another star for the fighting, and the third star goes for the dramatic change that he made, what I feel too late in the movie for me. But had the rest of the movie been that way, I would have been.
Would you have given it more if it was dubbed?
No.
Okay.
Wait,
No.
I'm sorry. I can't believe
Mike
I forgot
saw something. Yeah, Mike
in my
found something,
notes. As I was watching this, so they're showing the whole scene at the end. The story ends with him just literally trying to kill a guy, and then it cuts. That's the end. There's no resolution. Like they never show him be like
that bothers me a lot.
But then it cuts to the outtakes of everybody getting hurt, like genuinely injured, and then all of a sudden, it's like Jackie Chan's like, yeah, I'm gonna risk my life, but you sure as hell better bet that I'm going to sing a song at the end.
Yep. That's him singing
a song at the end.
That's him singing, and they used that song in another movie. They used that song. That wasn't a Jackie Chan movie. It was like another movie that loved that song so much that they used it.
I was like, Jackie Chan, and apparently he's got like a huge recording career. Like he has tons of music out there. Like there's someone out there whose favorite singer is Jackie Chan.
It's probably Jackie Chan.
It's probably Jackie Chan. But yeah, I forgot about that.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. That was Police Story, or Jackie Chan's Police Story.
Jackie Chan's Police Story.
Oh, we gotta do the wheel, man.
Oh, the wheel.
Right.
We gotta do the wheel. Hold on.
It's time to spin the wheel.
Yeah. What was the lesson of this movie? Who knows? Fuck lawyers. That's
answer one phone call at a time.
FYI, I added On Deadly Ground.
Yes, you did.
Oofa.
So let's go. Let's see what we do here. Oh, sorry. And go.
Did you add oh wait, no. Did you add Police Story 2?
Shut up the wheel.
Oh, On Deadly Ground almost got picked.
Revenge
the Ninja. Here we go, part 2. Part 2, folks.
Okay, writing part 2. Revenge of the Ninja, which is the sequel to the Enter the Ninja movie, which we did, I think, episode 7 or episode 5, something like that.
Yeah, it was a little bit ago.
Revenge of the Ninja.
Very excited because this was the highest grossing of the 3. So I'm very excited. It made $5.
Yeah, it cost him $250 to make it. It made back their fucking money in there.
I made 200%, baby.
Hey, Revenge of the Ninja gave us American Ninja, guys. So show it respect.
No.
I think it lost respect at that point. Like, you're the one to blame for this motherfucker. We had a comment. We had a user comment from Rookie. Shout out to Rookie who went to my show last week at the time of this recording. Technically, he went to the Angela Johnson show, and I just happened to be working there. But you get what I'm saying. Ricky says, "Can you guys add Miami Connection to the wheel?"
I asked you to do that a while ago, but I don't know if you did.
However, I don't know. First of all, I don't know if I did it. I don't remember if I did. And second of all, I would gladly add it if there's a way for us to watch it. There has to be a way.
It's on Amazon.
That's the way be a way for everyone to watch. Like it can't just be a thing you have to pay.
I'm 90% sure it's on Amazon, which is why I suggested it.
Okay, man, but I know of the movie, but I don't know the movie.
It's on Amazon, right there.
Add it to the list.
Yeah, it's on here.
Okay,
good. We appreciate if you have any suggestions that you want to add, either hit us up during the live recordings or go to email us at kickflixpod. That's Kickflix, like Netflix, but with a kick. Pod, POD, @gmail.com. So make sure you do that. Thank you guys for checking us out. We will do I can't wait to do Revenge of the Ninja. It's fantastic. I haven't seen that movie in 1,000 years, so it's gonna be new to me. Thank you guys for checking us out, and that's how kicking is done.
I hope there's not